Hello and welcome to this edition of Bayou Time. I'm your host, Keith Weissite, licensed clinical social worker. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it very, very much. Always glad to have with me the guy who's in the know that lets us know what's happening. Earl Eues here, the Director of Homeland Security and Emergency Preparedness. Glad you're here, brother.
Keith, good to be here, and I guess it's time to say Happy Mardi Gras.
That's exactly right. It's a really good time. And more importantly, it's Happy Mardi Gras with some updates that we're going to talk about with COVID, where we see some numbers coming down and we see some options opening up. And so it's a really good time.
That is correct. We're seeing a decrease in the number of cases and the number of hospitalizations, so that's good for our area. We just need to continue to practice the things that we've been practicing for the last 2 years to prevent the spread, and especially during Mardi Gras when we're going to be around a lot of people.
Yeah, you know, I was fortunate to be able to spend a little time with some of the guys from HPD, and that's just one of those things that they were just kind of reminding everybody, you know, we still need to practice these things. And just keep in mind, we're going to be around a lot more people than we're used to being around. So while we've gotten these numbers down and practicing all of these, the same things that we're doing, stay 6 feet apart, you know, wash your hands, you know, wear a mask if you're going to be around a lot of people. You know, those things are still very important to do.
Yeah, especially if you're sick. You know, if you have some of the symptoms that we've been talking about the last few weeks as far as COVID goes, you may want to consider not going to the parade. Mm-hmm. Or if you think it's important for you to go to the parade, you definitely should wear a mask. Yeah. So you don't spread it to others.
And keep yourself with some really good distance from other people.
Well, you know, it's going to be hard doing Mardi Gras,
right.
But try to do that. And you know, one of the biggest things is keep your hand sanitizer with you.
Yeah.
You know, so that you can continue to sanitize your hands during the parade, and just, you know, be aware of how close you with people, and you know, and if you want to wear a mask, wear a mask.
Yeah.
I mean, if you feel comfortable and or you feel like you need to, wear your mask.
Yeah. We've gotten comfortable with it. I mean, we should be comfortable with it by now.
People are used to seeing it on everybody.
Right.
So if you want to go to the parade, and the other option is you guys broadcast some of the parades on HTV.
You get to watch it.
You get to watch it at home.
Yeah.
So there are some options for you if you feel like you do not want to go to the parades.
Yeah. And so speaking of what's coming up, let's talk a little bit about numbers and how things have changed some.
So the good news is over the last couple of weeks, we've had a decrease in the number of cases. 2 weeks ago, we were at 945. Last week, we dropped that to almost half, to 456.
Wow.
And then we're not in a complete week this week, but so far we only have 149 cases through yesterday. So the case numbers are definitely going down, as well as the hospitalization cases. Last week we had about 20, that we averaged 25 in the hospital. This week we're averaging about 13. So those numbers are going down.
Almost
also.
cut in half. That's really, really good.
We did have, we haven't had any deaths this week, but we did have some deaths last week. I think we had one death last week.
Related to COVID.
So, and most of the deaths are an older population right now with some comorbidities.
Right. And even some of the younger people, I've had several friends just in the last few weeks in different areas, younger people, but they had some pretty high comorbidities, and they passed away from COVID as well. So we're still feeling the impact.
Yeah, we are. And, you know, if you want to go out to Mardi Gras, if you feel like you need to be tested, there are some of the drugstores and big box stores have the take-home tests available for you now. They seem to be coming back on in stock.
Right. And so you have that available to you. And the other thing is, as we kind of finish this out, this Omicron presents differently. It kind of seems, some people are just having sinus pressure, some people are having some cold-like symptoms, and so let's not just assume that it's just a cold or a change in season.
That's correct. The Omicron has complicated the symptoms portion of the COVID, because it's like you think you have just a little cold. Mm-hmm. And all of us have done this. We've all gone to work with a little cold. Mm-hmm. And so we caution people that if you think you have any of the symptoms of COVID, take an at-home test if you have one. And if your results are negative, then go to work. If you're running fever, you should definitely stay home, like with any other illness that may occur. But and then we recommend either 3 days later, maybe take another test to make sure that you're negative.
Yeah, and that's just one of those things that we need to still, and when it comes to Mardi Gras and when it comes to doing things and gatherings, we need to stay vigilant. We need to be aware of how we're doing and stay vigilant for the people around us.
Yeah, and we're all tired of. We're all COVID tired right now.
Yeah, we are.
And you know, we're kind of getting laxed. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if we get a little spike after Mardi Gras.
Yeah,
because I mean it's
right. It's just kind of natural
with the number of people that we're going to be hanging around and being around with. So just be cautious, and you know, like I said, try to practice some of the things we've been practicing the last couple of years. You know, some social distancing, wash your hands,
hand sanitizing,
and if you're sick, wear a mask.
Yeah, and if you know that you're sick, stay home. Just kind of be that for other people. It's really interesting. I was in line at the bank yesterday with someone who made the comment, this whole COVID thing, I'm over it. And I said, well, the interesting thing is it's not over. Mm-hmm. Even if we're getting that COVID weary, we still need to be aware. And that's just something we need to make sure until it doesn't impact our population with hospitalizations and deaths. Much like the flu does, because the flu doesn't really impact us with hospitalizations and deaths as much anymore. We need to be and do that.
Yeah.
So
approximately 70% of the people in the hospital right now are unvaccinated. So I encourage people to get the vaccination to give you, some type of protection. Because I mean the numbers are showing that in the hospitals that the hospitalizations are mostly those that are unvaccinated.
So go out and get your vaccination. Earl, some great updates as always. We appreciate it very much.
Thank you.
All right, that'll do it for this segment of Bayou Time. Don't go anywhere. A lot more Bayou Time when we continue.